if I told you that the most powerful force shaping your reality isn't your circumstances, your background, or even your actions, but something far simpler, yet infinitely more profound? It's how you see yourself right now. As you're listening to these words, you're radiating an invisible signal to the world. This signal determines how people treat you, what opportunities come your way, and even how random events unfold in your life. This isn't mystical thinking or wishful philosophy. This is what I call the world law of effects. And it's been quietly governing your life since the day you were born. Every interaction you've had, every door that opened or closed, every relationship that flourished or failed has been influenced by this invisible force field. Your self-perception surrounds you like a personal atmosphere that others can sense and respond to. Think about the last time you walked into a room full of strangers. Before you even spoke a word, people were already forming impressions about you. But here's what most people don't realize. Those impressions weren't based solely on your appearance or body language. They were responding to something deeper, something that emanated from your core sense of self. If you walked in feeling confident and worthy, people sensed that energy. If you entered feeling insecure or out of place, they picked up on that too. This phenomenon goes far beyond social interactions. Your self-perception creates what psychologists call a self-fulfilling prophecy. But it operates on a scale much grander than most people understand. When you truly believe you're capable of success, you unconsciously behave in ways that make success more likely. You speak with more conviction. You take calculated risks. You persist through challenges. And you notice opportunities that others miss entirely. Consider two people applying for the same job. One sees themselves as qualified and deserving, while the other harbors deep doubts about their worth. Even if their resumes are identical, they'll present themselves completely differently. The first person will make eye contact, speak clearly about their accomplishments, and ask thoughtful questions. The second will minimize their achievements and seem uncertain. The interviewer doesn't just evaluate their skills. They respond to the energy each candidate projects. But here's where things get darker and more important. Once you understand how powerful your self-image is, you need to understand something else. There are people in your life who understand this too. And some of them don't want you to have a strong, positive self-image. Why? Because your self-perception doesn't just affect you. It affects your relationships, your boundaries, and your willingness to accept certain treatment from others. When you have a strong sense of self-worth, you become harder to manipulate. You set boundaries. You walk away from toxic situations. You demand respect. You don't settle for less than you deserve. This makes you less controllable, less exploitable, and less willing to accept unfair treatment. And for certain people, that's a problem. This is where gaslighting enters the picture. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone tries to make you doubt your own perceptions, memories, and sanity. But it goes deeper than that. At its core, gaslighting is an attack on your self-image. It's an attempt to reshape how you see yourself so that you become easier to control. The person doing this might be a romantic partner, a family member, a boss, or even a friend. They might do it consciously or unconsciously, but the effect is the same. They chip away at your confidence, your sense of reality, and ultimately your power. Here's how it typically works. Someone starts by contradicting your memory of events. They tell you that something you clearly remember never happened. Or they insist that something happened completely differently than you recall. When you push back, they act confused or concerned about your mental state. They might say things like, "You're being too sensitive," "You're imagining things," or "You're crazy." Over time, these small contradictions accumulate. You start to doubt yourself. Maybe they're right. Maybe you did misremember. Maybe you are too sensitive. This is exactly what they want. Because once you start doubting your own perceptions, you become dependent on their version of reality. Your internal compass gets scrambled, but gaslighting attacks more than just your memory. It attacks your competence. A gaslighter will constantly criticize your decisions, your abilities, and your judgment. They'll frame it as concern or helpful advice, but the message is clear. You can't trust yourself. You need them to guide you. You're not capable of making good choices alone. They might also attack your emotional responses. When you express hurt or anger about their behavior, they'll tell you you're overreacting. They'll accuse you of being dramatic, unstable, or irrational. This teaches you that your feelings aren't valid, that your emotional responses can't be trusted. Eventually, you stop trusting your own gut reactions. The most insidious part is how gaslighting affects your self-image over time. You start to see yourself as confused, incompetent, and emotionally unstable. This weakened self-image then radiates outward, affecting every area of your life. Remember that invisible signal we talked about earlier. It's now broadcasting weakness, uncertainty, and low self-worth, and the world responds accordingly. So why would someone want to do this to you? The answer is usually about control. When your self-image is strong, you have power in relationships. You can leave. You can say no. You can demand better treatment. But when your self-image is damaged, you become malleable. You accept poor treatment because you believe you don't deserve better. You stay in harmful situations because you doubt your ability to survive alone. This isn't just about romantic relationships. Toxic bosses use these tactics to keep valuable employees underpaid and overworked. Manipulative friends use them to maintain a power imbalance. Even some family members use gaslighting to keep adult children dependent and compliant. The common thread is always control. So how do you protect yourself? First, you need to recognize the signs. Pay attention when someone consistently contradicts your memory or perception. Notice when someone regularly dismisses your feelings as invalid. Watch for patterns where you constantly doubt yourself after interactions with a specific person. Second, keep records. Gaslighters rely on your faulty memory. When you have written records of conversations, agreements, or events, it's harder for them to rewrite history. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about maintaining your grip on reality. Third, maintain connections outside the relationship. Gaslighters often try to isolate their targets. They know that outside perspectives threaten their control. Keep friendships alive. Talk to people you trust about your experiences. Their external viewpoint can help you maintain perspective. Fourth, trust your feelings. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Your emotional responses are data, not defects. They're telling you something important about your situation. Don't let anyone convince you that your gut instinct is faulty. Finally, work actively on strengthening your self-image. This is your ultimate protection. When you have a solid sense of who you are, what you're capable of, and what you deserve, you become nearly impossible to gaslight. You trust your perceptions. You value your judgment. You know your worth. Your self-image is the lens through which you experience reality. It determines what you notice, how you interpret events, and what you believe is possible for you. Protecting it isn't selfish or paranoid. It's essential. Because once you understand that your self-perception shapes your reality, you also understand why some people might want to control it. Your strong self-image is your power. Guard it carefully. Build it intentionally. And never let anyone convince you that you're less than you truly are.